Have you been studying a language for quite a while, but you're still not really able to speak confidently? Why are your language lessons not working? Why are you not succeeding in your language learning? I think there are a bunch of reasons. And one thing is that what you're studying, like all the things you may be studying from using YouTube videos, having classes, doing one on one, using apps, like all of these, they're somewhat useful, but they have a lot of fluff in them. So you're doing a lot of things that are not really moving you forward. While at the same time, you may be missing the basics. Now, the basics are really important. But another reason is that you feel like a perpetual learner. No matter how much you study and how far you get in your books and in your levels, you still feel like a language learner who's never fully fluent, who's never really mastered the language. And that is a problem. And the solution is that you don't really need language lessons. What you need is a system, and you need a mindset shift, because what you ultimately want to achieve is to live in the language, right? To be able to live in the language and to navigate fluently in the language without thinking of your studies and your grammatical rules and your vocabulary lists and all of that. That should be like in the past, and you could throw it all away, and now you've done it. Like, you are a bilingual. You are someone who can switch from one language to another and feel just as confident in the other language. You may still miss a word or an expression here or there, or sometimes you might not understand something that's said to you, but that's fine. You're confident enough to communicate, find out what it means. You're done language learning. So what you need is not language lessons. You need a system that gets you there, like to understand how to, all these things that you're doing, from watching movies to taking language courses, how do you make these tools actually effective so that you're not a perpetual language learner who's forever trying to improve, but who is actually going to become a fluent speaker of another language and have this language, this new language inside of you. Now, from what you've been doing now, something's missing, right? Like, you could beat up your head and you do all these different things, but you can take classes and still don't speak. So something's missing, and you're scattered. You're doing all these different things. And what you need is a system. And this is something different. This is what I want to propose to you. You need to make all your language learning actually work and actually lead you to success. You need to understand the system of how do you actually become a fluent speaker of a foreign language. This is something that the language classes do not teach you. You are being taught vocabulary, grammar, concepts, grammatical structures, literature, dialogues. You're working with that kind of material. You're not learning how to make that switch from someone who is the person you are now, from the place you are now, with the mother language you have right now, to the person who can just switch fluently and slide into a new culture and into a new language. This requires a different frame. Therefore, it will be very valuable to study or to interact with other people learning foreign languages, not necessarily the same foreign language that you're learning, because that is all secondary. Once you understand how to become fluent in a language, you can reproduce this time and time again, and you can go from learning Spanish to then learning French to learning Italian to learning German. You can repeat this process because you'll know how it works.